Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review, Episode 8. And this is the review of the 8th episode of Boruto, Naruto, Next Generation's Message of the Dream. This episode started quite unusually in the fact that it starts off by showing off the main villain of the last. Yeah, he makes a physical appearance in the show, which makes him the first villain from the films, first main villain from the films, to actually make a physical appearance on the regular anime TV show, which, hey, that's something. It looks like he hasn't aged since the last, even though it's been about 12, 13 years since the last, and looks like he hasn't aged one bit, which I'm kind of like, how the heck is that possible? I know it's him because, it starts off with him on the moon, and later on he's seen in a dream. Yeah, we talked to Boruto. And Boruto was basically, when he's first seen the episode, him along with his male friends, basically Iwambi, Dikai, and Shidai, they're at the movies, which is the first time that in the show they've actually been to a movie theater. I would say this is the first time they've done this since the original Naruto film. So yeah, 2 callbacks to 2 films. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, and Boruto kind of acts like the main character from that film for some reason, and they're actually progressing the whole plot line involving his eye. They're actually advancing that. And we also get a chance to see a couple of characters I haven't seen since the final episode of Naruto Shippuden. Hinata's father and sister. Yep, first time this is the first time they actually made a physical appearance in the series. And Henshi, yeah, he's aged since the show ended, and he's got gray in his hair, which makes sense because he's a grandfather now. And Iwambi, wow, she's almost the same height as Hinata. She actually really has aged. I mean, I would say she's probably because generally she's considered to be about 5 years younger than Hinata. So when the Naruto show started, when Hinata was 12, Iwambi was 7. Yes, 7. That sounds right, 7. Which means that by the time that the last film came out, she was about 13, I believe she was. I think it was about 13. 13. Because it was 8, at 2 that's 10. So I'd say she was 12 by the time of that film. So I'd say Iwambi is probably around 24, 25 years old. And she's aged really well for someone for a woman who's in their mid-20s. And it's nice to see her in the show. And the only reason why they went to go visit them, went to the Hyuga compound, is because, basically, Boruto tells Naruto and Hinata basically about his eye finally. 8 episodes in. So, okay, fine. So he thinks that the Byakugan, though he doesn't really know if it is, but it's just a theory of his that it might be the Byakugan. But so basically, he's gonna go rigorous training. That's what's gonna be going on in the next episode. Yeah, one point in the episode, he meets up with the main villain of the last, and he references the film once by mentioning, actually it was Shikai who referenced that Hinata is a Hyuga princess, which that is kind of true, even though she's not the heir to the Hyuga legacy. That went to her sister. Though for some reason, unlike some of the other people who got cage stuff put on her forehead, she did not get that. Probably because she's the daughter of the head of the Hyuga clan. That's my personal theory on the matter. But yeah, of course Shikamaru's in the episode, obviously, because Shikai's there. Yeah, and of course Iwambi, I think this is the first time in 2 or 3 episodes since I've seen him last. Yeah, it's been a little while. It's not been too long per se. I would say it's been about just a couple episodes, I'd say, since the last time. I think last time I saw him was back in episode 5, I think it was, either 5 or... It might have been 5, so it's been a little bit, but not too long. Dikai actually made a physical appearance in the last episode. This one he was in a little bit more than he was in the last episode, where he was in it for about 2 minutes and gets knocked out. This episode, he's actually seen it for a good 10, 15, at least about good almost half the episode he's in, which is a lot better than he has been lately. But yeah, it's a pretty good episode, and it's nice the fact that main villain the last basically we one be talk to Boruto, thinking that give him a little more explanation of the Byakugan because well he had the Byakugan in the film the last. It's nice to see him again. I just can't remember his name. I'm not right. Let's see, what is his name? I know he's a descendant of the brother of the sage of six paths. Let's see, what is his name? If I can find it here. His name is... Let's see, what is his name? Tenori Akatsuki. I think it's the guy's name. Yeah. He's the one who basically was the main villain the last, and he's the one who made a physical appearance in this episode. The only reason I know it's him because of the outfit. Even though you don't see his face very clearly, but it's his outfit, and seeing the Sage of Six Paths marks on around his neck, which was visibly seen in the film. My guess is the reason why they included him in the show is because, well, the film is canon with the manga, so why not? But it seems a little odd though. The guy looked like he has you don't see his face very clearly, but he doesn't look like he has any he doesn't look like he's physically aged since the last, and he's still on the moon. Yeah. So basically, for the past 13 years, he's been on the moon. He's still there after all this time, which is a bit bizarre, but okay, fine. But it's a good episode nonetheless. But seeing him, he was not even seen in the sneak peek from last week, which is, I gotta praise the people who do that sneak peek, basically not even putting him in the teaser for this episode that he was gonna be in here. So yeah, I mean, I knew that Heshi Hinabi was going to be appearing in these few episodes, this episode plus the next couple ones, just to explain Boruto. I think I heard they were going to appear in the next episode, but then appearing in this episode, brilliant stroke of genius, hiding that from the teaser as well. So basically, we got a few surprises that we get a chance to see the teaser, which is nice. But overall, it's a pretty decent episode. Basically, not much action per se in this episode. This is just more of an episode of advancing the plot of the series, which is fine. It's basically we don't get a chance with. Of course, there is a scene where Boruto does shadow clones, and they talk about what's been happening since the pilot. Which, okay, that's great. The fact that they've been sort of basically comparing notes, talking about everybody who's been possessed so far, which, last I count, I think it was about 7 people who's been possessed. Yeah, I think it's about 7. At least 2 no-name people, Metal Lee, Dekai, Shino, and that one guy who appeared in the last episode. Basically, 6 people have been possessed over the course of 7 episodes. Yeah, so it's nice the fact that Boruto basically just wants to gather up all of his thoughts, just catching people up, basically, of what happened over the course of the previous episodes. I would say, out of the previous 7, only 2 that didn't have characters who were possessed, which was episodes 2 and 4. So this episode didn't have. This was the first time since episode 4 we didn't have a character who was possessed by that dark chakra. The dark chakra itself is seen in the episode in flashbacks, but doesn't possess anybody, which is nice. Though I wouldn't be surprised if somehow in the next episode, if we get a chance to see some possession. So the way it looks for next episode, it looks like Boruto's going to be undergoing Byakugan training. Yeah, that's what it looks like. But if it proves to be not Byakugan, then the question is, what is it? But I'm glad the fact that Heshi was the one who actually explained the Byakugan really well, whereas the Keki Genkai, and it's a trait basically passed out throughout the Hyuga clan, but not everybody basically can activate the Byakugan, which is actually something. So basically, we got a little more. So basically, throughout this episode, we got advanced in the plot. We get to learn some about the Hyuga clan itself, and we get a chance to learn a little bit about the Byakugan, which is nice. So Yeah. It was nice to see Hinata and Naruto in the series again. Though Naruto did appear in the previous episode, but Hinata, this is actually the first time she's been physically seen in the series. I would say since episode 5. So it's been a few episodes since she was seen last, because she had been seen pretty much in the majority of the series so far. And she's only missed 2 episodes, which isn't too bad. And also, this is the first one not to feature Shino. Which, wow, that's actually something. Yeah, 8 episodes, and Shino is generally the only one who appears in, like, the only one of the previous generation generally appears in all the episodes because he's a teacher. This episode didn't feature him at all. I think he appears in flashback, so you kind of say, yeah, he kind of appeared in the episode, but not physically, of course, but, yeah. So they had to throw him in there somehow, because he made physical appearance in all the previous episodes, so having a flashback to him was nice. Metal Lee was nice to see him in flashback. There's no flashbacks to the pilot for some reason, I guess. Don't know why. But it's a good episode. Looking forward to next one, where it progresses this particular plot thread. This episode, like episode 5, ends on a cliffhanger. Okay, fine. It's the first time in a few episodes they've done it. So it's only the second time in the series so far they've ended on a cliffhanger. Which, okay, it looks like next episode might pick up right where this one leaves off. We'll find out next week, okay? So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for next episode, which is what is next episode? Yeah, I closed out my document before I got a chance to figure out exactly what it is. Let's see. It is next week's episode is Proof of Oneself. That is next week's episode. Okay? But I will see you all in that next episode. I will see you all in that video, next episode, next week. Okay? Bye.